ABC News Live.
Tonight, the East Coast rocked by one of the largest earthquakes in the last century. The quake felt from D.C. to as far north as Maine, shaking buildings and rattling millions. With limited damage reported in one state, little to no reports of power outages, residents could have gotten through this scot-free. The infrastructure evaluations going on now across the East Coast, a check-in on the epicenter of the earthquake, and how today's quake measures up to others in recent memory. Plus,
if he's found liable or he settles, he's facing a large dollar amount at the end of the day. The issue, though, is within a lot of those civil cases are criminal allegations.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is the subject of a federal probe and separate lawsuits with allegations of rape, sex trafficking, and other alleged abuses. His lawyers have refuted the accusations. Tonight, we go inside the legal issues at the center of Diddy's probe and the implications for his son. And
there's drama a lot back of house, and sometimes things spill over to the front of house. That's my nightmare.
It's time to check into the villa. We go behind the scenes of the new series, taking the Vanderpumps to an exclusive French estate and bringing drama along with them when we dive into Vanderpump Villa. Good evening, everyone. I'm Victor Oquendo in for Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're following those stories and much more, including the president's trip to Baltimore to survey the damage from the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse and the economic recovery now underway. Plus, at 19, he suffered cardiac arrest, but could he be drafted into the NBA this year? The news announced by Bronny James, and how he's one step closer to fulfilling his dad's dream of playing professionally together. And you may have been some of the many people who order their solar eclipse glasses from this major retailer, why they're now issuing refunds, and where you should go for a pair with just 3 days to go. But we begin with that rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake that rocked the Northeast this morning, rattling millions from Maryland to Maine. Tonight, several aftershocks have been reported, with the latest in New Jersey registering at 4.0. The epicenter in White House Station, New Jersey, 40 miles west of New York City, the strongest to hit the area in 100 years. The earthquake triggered ground stops at several airports, even jolting the earth cam atop the Statue of Liberty. This video shows the moment the quake hit, knocking pictures off the walls and right onto the floor. And as tremors continue to rattle the region, officials warn there could be more in the coming days. ABC's Trevor Ault leads us off tonight in Newark, New Jersey.
Tonight, millions in the Northeast on alert for aftershocks after a 4.8 magnitude earthquake rattled much of the eastern seaboard. The quake striking at 10:23 this morning, centered about 45 miles west of New York City in White House Station, New Jersey. Our New York station WABC broadcasting live, taking calls from alarmed viewers near the epicenter.
We were sitting on a couch and we originally thought that something exploded outside. And it started shaking very, very, very violently. I mean, this explosion was near deafening. It was nuts. And then we went outside on the deck. After it kind of settled down, you could feel the deck railing shaking like a jackhammer.
It's the strongest quake to hit the Garden State since the 1700s, lasting more than 30 seconds.
I thought it was like a truck driving past, because sometimes my house will shake from that. And then I realized that can't happen from a truck. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, is this an earthquake? She started screaming. She's like, get outside, get outside.
Security cameras catching it shaking home, sending pets panicking. People running to safety out of this cafe.
Earthquake! Why is there an earthquake here?
The shaking coming mid-haircut at this barber shop.
What the heck is that? Was that an earthquake?
The tremors felt from Maryland to Maine and major metros like Philadelphia and New York City, jolting the earth cam atop the Statue of Liberty.
We were actually stopped on the George Washington Bridge, and we felt something rumble. We didn't know if it was cars going by us or what it was.
But it felt like a joke, and you saw cars go like this, kind of shake back and forth.
They even felt it during batting practice for opening day at Yankee Stadium.
I felt something. I thought, right? And then, I'm glad to hear it, because I know that I'm not going crazy now.
Multiple airports issuing ground stops. Newark Airport alerting pilots.
All right, 7-2 aircraft awaiting departure. It seems like the tower is going to be evacuated.
The NYPD using drones to inspect bridges.
We've not identified any life-threatening situations, but we are certainly asking our local law enforcement and emergency services teams to be on guard for that as well.
Today's quake striking along what's known as the Ramapo Fault, which spans about 185 miles across New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Significant quakes on the East Coast are rare, but do happen. In 2011, a 5.8 quake centered in Virginia was felt by millions in more than a dozen states, even cracking part of the Washington Monument. Quake expert Dr. Lucy Jones said had this quake been centered under a major city, the damage could have been much more severe.
I think to be getting substantial damage, you need to be getting larger, 5.5 to 6, and you need to be putting it in an urban area.
Just incredible images and now concerns about aftershocks. Trevor is with us now from Newark, New Jersey. Trevor, officials concerned about those homes behind you?
Yeah, Victor, so 3 of these houses here shifted during that first earthquake here to the point that they've now been deemed unsafe. And officials tell us that they've had to evacuate at least 10 families. They're concerned about the stability, especially with that ongoing threat of aftershocks. Victor?
All right, Trevor, thank you. Now let's turn to Dr. Angie Lux. She is a project scientist for earthquake early warning at Berkeley Seismological Lab. Dr. Lux, thank you so much for taking the time for us today. Today's earthquake, it took a lot of Northeasterners by surprise. So tell us, how uncommon are earthquakes in that area?
It's definitely more rare to have an earthquake of this magnitude on the East Coast there. While there's always a possibility of an earthquake over in the East Coast, it's definitely not as common as we see over here on the West Coast.
And the earthquake was a magnitude 4.8. So if you could put that number in perspective for us, how it's determined and what it tells us about the earthquake strength.
The magnitude of the earthquake is the amount of energy that's being released during the earthquake. So it's not what people feel. What people feel is the intensity of the shaking, and that can vary based on where people are. So if you're close to the epicenter, where the earthquake has started, you're going to feel very high intensity, very strong shaking. Whereas if you're further away, you'll feel lower intensity shaking. But the magnitude, again, is the amount of energy that's being released during the earthquake. So this is what we'd call a moderate earthquake. You would expect strong-ish shaking near the epicenter for this earthquake. And because it's on the East Coast where the bedrock is much harder, the earthquake waves will actually travel further. So we've seen a lot of people from pretty far away reporting felt shaking for this earthquake.
Yeah, I have a pretty close friend that lives near the epicenter. He thought his house was actually crumbling today. But even though today's earthquake was relatively minor, it was felt across a very wide area. Why could so many people feel it?
So again, that's due to the geology of the area. On the East Coast, we have older rock, and it kind of rings like a bell. You can think of it that way. Whereas on the West Coast, our ground is, we could say, squishier. It will basically absorb the waves as they travel. So for the same magnitude earthquake, you're going to get people feeling it much further away on the East Coast than you would for the same magnitude on the West Coast.
Gotcha. And we're looking at the New York Yankees batting practice right there in the middle of it all this morning. Now, looking ahead, after earthquakes, people often wonder about potential signs of geological shifts or indications of future earthquakes. So is there anything to be concerned about today's?
For now, we can't say anything about what might happen in the future. We know that there may be some aftershocks. We would expect some smaller aftershocks possibly happening in the coming days, possibly weeks. We would not expect a larger earthquake happening. It just, statistically speaking, it's less likely that a larger earthquake would happen, though it is possible. So for now, I would say everything is just as normal as it usually is, and nothing too unusual here.
We like normal. Okay, Dr. Angie Lux, thank you so much for your expertise and insights.
Thank you for having me.
From the earthquake, we turn now to the deadly nor'easter. More than 300,000 customers still without power. And after a record April snowfall in parts of northern New England, several more inches are now on the way. And take a look at this. The dramatic moment a police officer driving in Sanford, Maine, narrowly avoided a falling tree brought down by all that heavy, wet snow. Tonight, there is a new storm crossing the country. The question is, will it affect your view of the eclipse? ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Victor. Yeah, a lot of people asking that question, so let's go over it. We're getting all sorts of weather here in the wake of that epic nor'easter you just spoke of. But the storm coming into the west right now is pretty potent in its own right, and it's a good chunk of it's already gone through California, where there are still advisories up. But look at the wind advisories and the red flag warnings posted for the Rockies and the Plains. That gives you an idea of the kind of wind energy we're dealing with as this thing comes into the west and eventually into the plains. So timing it out, the rain tapering off to showers across California tonight, heavy snows in the mountains, and then that energy gets into the plains come Monday morning. Monday afternoon, we're looking for a severe weather threat, Tuesday and Wednesday as well. But let's talk about Monday. That severe weather threat, Waco, Austin to Dallas. After the eclipse, but leading up to the eclipse, the clouds will probably be building. So here's our forecast for the eclipse. It looks like Waco, Tyler, Dallas probably be in the clouds there, getting up through Little Rock, still cloudy. That white's shown on the map. Breaks in the clouds as you go through Indiana and Illinois and maybe Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, where I'll be. Clouds and sun, a game day decision there. And even Burlington, no guarantee of completely clear skies there. Those clouds may encroach quickly. So we'll see what the weather gods bring us on Monday. Victor, it only takes one cloud to ruin it and one break in the clouds to call it a success. We'll see what happens. Victor?
We're hoping for the best, and we're looking forward to your coverage on the eclipse. Rob, thank you. And also tonight, President Biden visited the scene of that shipping disaster that brought down Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge today. His message to the city, your nation has your back, promising the federal government will pay for the repair. The president also met with the families of the 4 workers who are still missing. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
President Biden today boarding Marine One, traveling to Baltimore for an eagle-eye view of the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. 1 week after that devastating collision, a giant ship smashing into the bridge, bringing it crashing down.
I'm here to say your nation has your back, and I mean it. Your nation has your back.
For roughly an hour, the president privately consoling the families of the 6 workers killed, 4 of their bodies yet to be recovered.
Just seconds before, one of the men named Carlos, who was only 24, left a message for his girlfriend. Here's what it said. "We just poured cement. We're waiting for it to dry," he said. Well, to all the families and loved ones who are grieving, I've come here to grieve with you. We all are. My vow is that we will not rest, as Carlos said, until the cement has dried and the entirety of a new bridge. A new bridge.
And the president today calling for Congress to cover the full cost of this recovery.
Mary Bruce joins us now. Mary, any update on when the port may reopen to ship traffic?
Well, Victor, actually, the Army Corps of Engineers has just announced an ambitious timeline to try and reopen this port. They are hoping to have one temporary channel open by the end of this month and to be back at normal capacity by the end of May. Victor?
Mary Bruce with the president in Maryland tonight. Mary, thank you. 1 person was killed, 2 others hospitalized after a section of a construction crane fell from a South Florida high-rise. A section being prepared to increase the crane's height came loose. That's according to Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue. A construction worker fell, causing fatal injuries. The crane section landed on a nearby bridge, damaging at least 2 vehicles. 2 people on the ground were taken to a nearby hospital. They are expected to be okay. And now to a warning out tonight from top law enforcement officials, heightened concerns that in the wake of the attack in Moscow, ISIS operatives or sympathizers here in the U.S. could respond to recent calls for attacks worldwide. Here's Chief ABC's Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, FBI and Homeland Security officials are warning U.S. law enforcement about the potential for terror inspired by that deadly ISIS attack in Moscow targeting a concert hall. The concern, according to the bulletin, violence targeting mass gatherings such as sports stadiums, concert venues, or houses of worship in the United States. Law enforcement told to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity. The bulletin coming just days before millions will gather to watch the eclipse on Monday. Authorities say following the Moscow attack, ISIS and its supporters celebrated the assault and shared graphic and violent attack footage, the terror group calling for similar attacks in the United States.
I'm told U.S. law enforcement is truly being urged to take this bulletin seriously. Sources say ISIS remains a very real threat. Victor?
All right, Pierre, thank you. Also tonight, the concern over Iran and a possible retaliatory attack. U.S. officials warn Israel that Iran may be planning an attack after Israel's deadly strike in Syria. ABC's Britt Clennett is in Israel with what we're learning.
Tonight, U.S. authorities are warning that Iran may be preparing for a retaliatory attack against Israel. A U.S. official telling ABC News retaliation could come as soon as this weekend or next week for that deadly IDF airstrike in Syria that killed 7 Revolutionary Guard members, including a top commander. It comes as the Israeli military fired 2 officers and suspended 2 commanders for the IDF attack that killed 7 aid workers in Gaza, including a dual U.S. citizen.
It was a terrible chain of errors, and it should never have happened.
Israel's own investigation outlining a tragic timeline. That World Central Kitchen convoy clearly marked with the logo, picking up aid shipment Monday night. Despite the charity coordinating their movements with the IDF, Israel saying drone operators were unaware of that plan and mistook an aid worker carrying a bag for a gunman, later opening fire. 2 passengers escaping the first vehicle, getting into a second, only to be hit by another missile. Survivors of that second strike were then killed in a third attack, all in just 4 minutes. The World Central Kitchen renewing calls for an independent investigation, saying the IDF cannot credibly investigate its own failure. Tonight, after President Biden bluntly warned Netanyahu to take concrete steps to protect aid workers and civilians, or the U.S. will reassess its support, Israel announcing it will open the Erez crossing in northern Gaza, as well as a port to allow more aid in. But none of those steps announced by Israel address those White House concerns. Despite that today, President Biden saying Israel is following through.
I asked them to do what they're doing.
Britt Clennett joins us now from Tel Aviv. Britt, back to the U.S. concerns of an attack on Israel. What do we know about a possible strike by Iran?
Yeah, Victor, ABC News is now learning that Iran could strike Israel's diplomatic facilities or possibly a direct strike. And Victor, President Biden also calling on the leaders of Egypt and Qatar to press Hamas for a hostage deal with Israel. Victor?
Britt, our thanks to you. And tune in Sunday morning to This Week. Martha Raddatz will have an exclusive sit-down interview with World Central Kitchen founder Jose Andres, whose workers were killed by that Israeli airstrike in Gaza. Tonight, there are alarming new clues in the search for 2 missing Oklahoma mothers who never showed up to pick up their children as planned. Authorities now suspect foul play. Here's Mola Lengi with the latest in the investigation.
Now missing for nearly a week, Oklahoma authorities say foul play is suspected in the case of 2 mothers who vanished without a trace.
We have not found these women yet. We are still searching, and our investigators are working around the clock to do what they can to find these 2 victims.
39-year-old Jillian Kelly and 27-year-old Veronica Butler of Hugoton, Kansas, were last seen on Saturday on their way to pick up Veronica's 8-year-old son and daughter to celebrate her 6th birthday, according to ABC affiliate KVII. But the 2 moms never arrived. Local authorities recovering the blue Kia SUV they were in, abandoned along a highway south of the Oklahoma-Kansas border.
Our investigators, based on the evidence and the information that they had found inside of the victim's vehicle, that they believe that there was foul play involved in this case.
Veronica, a known businesswoman in the community, was reportedly in the middle of a custody battle. Jillian, an acquaintance and pastor's wife, was said to be riding along for support.
Well, Victor, investigators tell us this search has been especially difficult since these 2 moms disappeared in a rural area without many homes or businesses that might otherwise have security camera footage. Victor?
All right, Mola, thank you. And after more than 4 decades in business, 99-cents only stores will permanently close all 371 locations. The retail chain, once known for its below $1 prices, has not provided a timeline for the closures of their stores. The company's CEO cited a variety of reasons for the closures, including the impact left by the pandemic and inflation. Bronny James, son of basketball legend LeBron James, announced today that he will enter the 2024 NBA draft. The USC freshman guard will also maintain his college eligibility entering the transfer portal. James has already faced a setback in his college career, suffering cardiac arrest while practicing last July. LeBron has stated that he has a desire to play alongside his son in the NBA, a prospect that may be top of mind for teams as the 39-year-old has the ability to opt out of his contract and sign with whatever team selects Bronny in the draft. There is still much more to get to here on Prime. Gearing up for the solar eclipse, millions of people have already purchased their eclipse glasses. But why some consumers are getting notified by Amazon they may be eligible for refunds. But next, could it be the end of an empire? Sean Diddy Combs is part of a federal investigation that includes sex trafficking and now facing jaw-dropping civil allegations from a former producer. The civil suit, just one of many, coming from the Mo Money, Mo Problems rapper.
This is a huge deal for Diddy. I think if any of these allegations are proved to be true, it crumbles an empire that so many people used as a blueprint of success.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming.
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carry, innit?
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Beyonce's conquering country.
My family loves Beyonce.
Cowboy Carter comes into the world at a very complex time. People are saying this song is too good to resist.
Just because you sing hip-hop music with a country accent does not make it country music.
The stay in your lane, well, that's not real country. It takes somebody who is at superstar status to do something that shakes it all up.
It's Beyonce country. This is Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more in a minute. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone like everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Welcome back. New developments in the legal issues for Sean Diddy Combs and one of his sons. Christian Combs is being accused of sexually assaulting a woman who worked aboard a yacht his father leased during the holiday season in December 2022. In a new lawsuit, she says Christian forced her to take a tequila shot that she believes was spiked with drugs. Diddy and 10 unnamed individuals are listed as aiding or abetting the alleged assault. Combs has so far denied previous allegations against him, but the accusations seem to be growing. The rapper turned mega mogul made a name and fortune for himself with lifestyle and entertainment brands, but one of his former employees says there was a dark side to Diddy. ABC's Ashin Singh has more.
It was a stunning scene. Two mansions belonging to Sean Diddy Combs were simultaneously raided by Homeland Security.
Federal investigators raiding two homes owned by hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Sources telling ABC News it is connected to a human trafficking investigation.
Now what we're learning about the raids being led by prosecutors with the Southern District of New York. Two of Combs' sons were briefly detained as authorities searched through Diddy's LA residence. The aftermath of the raid, seen in footage from TMZ. Federal investigators seizing a number of electronic devices from the hip-hop and liquor moguls' homes. So far, no criminal charges have been filed. Combs seen over Easter weekend out and about on the deck of his Miami mansion that was raided. In a statement provided to ABC News, Combs' attorney Aaron Dyer said there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed, and that this is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits, adding that Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. In a separate civil lawsuit, amended just 2 days after the raid, filed by Rodney Jones Jr., a producer, videographer, and former employee of Combs.
Lil Rod, you know, he is a music producer. He's originally from Chicago, Illinois, and he was someone who was recruited to come and work on Diddy's most recent album.
The scathing lawsuit filed against Combs in New York's Southern District.
We don't know for sure if Rodney Jones's lawsuit started off the criminal investigation, but a lot of what he said in his lawsuit seems to be investigated by the Southern District of New York.
The lawsuit alleges Combs engaged in serious illegal activity, including the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms, the displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms, and providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers. This suit, just one of several filed since last December, Combs has denied all allegations of wrongdoing. The first of those 5 civil suits, a bombshell filing by Combs' former girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, alleged a decade-long pattern of physical, verbal, and sexual abuse, describing her experience with so-called freak-offs, where she alleges she was forced to have sex with men in front of Combs for his pleasure. Combs settled the suit with Cassie just 24 hours after its filing for an undisclosed amount of money. Combs saying in a statement through his attorney, Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement. I wishes Miss Ventura the best. Cassie's friend and songwriter Tiffany Red speaking out in an interview with NBC News.
She told me the only time he was willing to do anything or work on her music, go through any plans, any of that, was when she had a freak off.
If he's found liable or he settles, he's facing a large dollar amount at the end of the day. The issue, though, is within a lot of those civil cases are criminal allegations. And as we've seen, or what it appears to have happened, is that the SDNY is looking at those civil charges and pursuing them criminally.
This is a huge deal for Diddy. I think if any of these allegations are proved to be true, it crumbles an empire that so many people used as a blueprint of success.
The rapper has flaunted a larger-than-life bad boy persona since his beginnings as a hip-hop producer in the early 90s.
You name it, I could claim it. Young, black, and famous.
And in hits like Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
I call all the shots, rip all the spots, rock all the rocks.
And Mo Money, Mo Problems. Diddy founding Bad Boy Records in 1993, launching the careers of rapper Mace, and most famously, Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G.
And if you don't know, now you know.
P. Diddy is a music mogul, but to be honest with you, he's far bigger than that. You know, he not only helped to really push out the culture of hip hop and the hip hop generation, but in a lot of ways, he really kind of created the culture. It's almost impossible to say what hand Diddy does not have in a business, because it's truly in a lot of places.
In the late 90s and early 2000s, Diddy starting multiple lucrative business ventures, including a fashion and lifestyle brand, Sean John.
You are what you say you are. I am king.
A promotional deal for Ciroc Vodka, and building a reality empire.
So here we are now, making the band 3.
The mogul, most notably starring in and executive producing MTV's Making the Band. Diddy, also known in celebrity circles for throwing lavish parties.
Diddy has always been known for over-the-top parties. And you'd be hard-pressed probably to find someone of note who hasn't been to a Diddy party of some sort in the last 20 years.
There have always been rumors that Sean Combs' parties have been very crazy and somewhat wild. But now the allegations seem to give life to the idea that it was more than just a crazy and wild time.
Grammy-winning singer Usher spoke of his time living with Combs when he was 13 on Howard Stern's Sirius XM radio show.
It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
That lifestyle, now at the center of Rodney Jones Jr.'s 98-page lawsuit.
Rodney Jones claims that he was sexually abused by Sean Combs multiple times, that his anus and genitalia were touched on multiple occasions in different areas.
According to the lawsuit, all employees, from the butler to the chef to the housekeepers, would walk around with a black Prada pouch or fanny pack filled with drugs of all kinds. Jones says he witnessed illegal sexual activity too.
Jones accuses Sean Combs of recruiting people to go and get sex workers and minors to participate in sex in various parties and all over the country with Sean Combs and others. Jones alleges that he was drugged and or forced to have sex with sex workers.
On another occasion, there was an event where, in addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 girls under the age of 16. All of them were forced to drink De Leon liquor, which was laced with ecstasy. The lawsuit outlining a bloody crime too. Jones alleges Combs or his son shot someone in the stomach in a bathroom at a recording studio, and then later lied to police claiming a drive-by shooting was to blame. The LAPD investigated the shooting, and Combs was not charged. Jones says he was terrified of Combs and felt like he could not tell him no. Also in the lawsuit, Jones alleges Combs even threatened to eat his face. Jones claims he wasn't paid what he was owed for his work on Combs' album and is now seeking $30 million in damages.
There is a potential that Sean Combs' attorneys argue that this is buyer's remorse, that he in fact wanted to do all of these acts, but because he wasn't paid in the amount that he wants, he's now bringing up these allegations. That could hurt his credibility.
Combs' attorney responding to the civil lawsuit saying, Mr. Jones is shamelessly looking for an easy and wholly undeserved payday. We have indisputable, incontrovertible proof that his claims are complete fabrications.
I don't know if Diddy survives this. I think so much of that remains to be seen. And the court of public opinion, you know, in a lot of ways carries more weight than the actual court of law does. So I'm not sure if he can really repair what's already been done.
Our thanks to Ashin Singh. Still much more to get to here. Coming up, new proposals ahead to reduce or cancel student debt. What it could mean for millions of borrowers. But next, it's the quake everyone is talking about. But how does the earthquake that hit New Jersey today stack up against other quakes? We take a look by the numbers.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work. Hi. Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you. David, good to meet you. Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine, close to the front line.
from the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
You should see me in the crowd. Kinda when there's nothing to
females fight for the survival of their families. Oh, hey, the queens. You should see me in a crowd.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
Reporting in Los Angeles along the LA River that right now has rapids on it with this storm. I'm Ginger Z. You're streaming ABC News Live.
How does today's earthquake compare to the one in Taiwan earlier this week? And what do the magnitude numbers tell us anyway? We have answers tonight by the numbers. It's been at least 124 years, or since record keeping began, since an earthquake as strong as today's was centered in New Jersey. Millions of people in at least 5 states felt the earth rattling this morning, getting lots of attention in a region not accustomed to regular tremblers. But today's 4.8 magnitude was considered light on the USGS intensity scale. There are about 500,000 similar quakes around the world each year, felt by many but rarely causing damage. For comparison, the 5.8 earthquake that hit the Washington, D.C. area in 2011 was 10 times bigger than today's and 32 times stronger in terms of energy release. But such quakes are still only likely to cause slight damage. And the 7.4 that rocked Taiwan this week, that was 398 times bigger and felt 7,943 times stronger. A magnitude 7 or above is considered a major earthquake causing serious damage. Worldwide, 10 to 15 major earthquakes strike each year. The devastating 7.8 earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria last year killed more than 59,000 people. A magnitude 8 is considered a great earthquake and can totally destroy communities near the epicenter. The measurement system doesn't have a maximum magnitude rating. And much more ahead here on Prime. It's the countdown to Monday's solar eclipse. But just how rare is the event? A Nat Geo explorer and photojournalist explains. And it's the beauty of southern France with all the drama of LA. Lisa Vanderpump spills the tea on Vanderpump Villa.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland.
From Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation.
You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky, Minneapolis, Mexico,
Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more, and I'm into it. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone, like everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start Here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts.
We have breaking news now. A Coast Guard dive team in Baltimore just reporting they've recovered the body of another construction worker killed in the Key Bridge disaster. The body recovered, that of 38-year-old Maynard Swasso Sandoval. He is the third of the six killed to be found. Next tonight, why the FBI is launching an investigation into New York City's mayor, the latest round of tech layoffs, and get your glasses. Why some glasses advertised as eclipse-friendly might be eligible for a refund. These stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
The FBI is investigating whether New York City Mayor Eric Adams received upgrades when flying on Turkish Airlines. The issue is part of an ongoing investigation involving an airline executive, aides to the mayor, and Adams himself. Sources tell ABC News the federal investigators want to know whether Adams traded any upgrades for political favors, specifically whether it prompted him to push for approval of a new Turkish consulate when he was Brooklyn bureau president. Attorneys representing Adams say all of the mayor's trips to Turkey were by the book, and speculation is not evidence. The Biden administration is preparing new proposals to reduce or cancel student loan debt for millions of borrowers. Sources say the plans will focus on people who face significant hardships that prevent them from paying back their loans. President Biden is expected to lay out the proposals on Monday. The Department of Education has been working on the new plan since the Supreme Court struck down Biden's original student loan forgiveness program nearly 10 months ago. A major recall tonight, Procter & Gamble recalling more than 8 million bags of popular laundry detergent pods. Bags of Tide Pods, Gain Flings, Ace Pods, and Ariel Flings are part of the recall because the outer packaging can split open near the zipper, posing a risk of serious injury to children and vulnerable populations. This week, Amazon announced job cuts. Now Apple is doing the same. In its first big wave of post-pandemic job cuts, Apple is laying off over 600 workers in California. It comes during a wave of tech industry consolidation. 614 Apple workers were told they are losing their jobs effective May 27th, according to a filing with the state of California. It's not clear which departments or projects the employees were working on. There was a massive surge in tech hiring during the pandemic, but growth has slowed since the tech companies have been cutting costs. Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher have broken up. In statements shared to their Instagram accounts, they wrote, "After a long tennis match lasting over 20 years, we are finally putting our rackets down. In 2023, we jointly filed to end our marriage." The British comedian known for playing Borat and the Australian actress were engaged in 2004, married in 2010, and share 3 children. The news comes days after Australian actress Rebel Wilson claimed in her memoir Baron Cohen sexually harassed her on the set of the film Grimsby. Reps for the actor call her claims demonstrably false. If you're in the path of the upcoming solar eclipse, you'll need a pair of these special safety glasses. If you bought them from Amazon, check your email. The company is providing refunds to some customers who purchase glasses from listings that may not be on the American Astronomical Society's list of approved suppliers. Amazon says it's since removed the products in question and is issuing the refunds out of an abundance of caution.
On Monday, you may be among the more than 32 million people across America who will find themselves in the path of a total solar eclipse. And the next chance to see one in the U.S. won't be for another 2 decades in 2044. Joining us now, Babak Tafreshi, a Nat Geo explorer and photojournalist. Babak, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you've documented 13 eclipses all across 7 continents, yet you say Monday's event is even more special for a few reasons. Tell us why.
Sure. Yeah, one reason is it's longer than the last total solar eclipse in the U.S. in 2017 was about 2 minutes. This is up to 4.5 minutes, especially in the lower part of the path in Texas and Mexico. As we head to the northeast part of the path, it would be about 3.5 minutes, of course, in the center line of the totality. If you're closer to the edge of the path, it will be shorter total solar eclipse, while about 31 or 32 million people are inside the path as residents. There are millions of people coming to the path of totality to view it within a range of 200 miles from this narrow shadow of band, which is about 100 miles wide. I think there are more than 200 million people living. So it's a huge amount of viewers to a spectacular natural phenomena, one of the probably most viewed natural phenomena in our history.
And millions of Americans hoping to catch a glimpse of the eclipse, of course. You have to protect your eyes. Use those solar viewing glasses. But you say people will also need special filters for their cameras. That includes smartphones if they want to try and snap a photo here. So what should everyone know?
Well, it's definitely very important to protect your eyes during the partial solar eclipse. During the totality, you don't need any eclipse glasses. So that's the only moment you can remove the eclipse glasses to enjoy the total solar eclipse because the corona around the sun is fainter. But partial eclipse, even at 99%, can harm our eyes. And we don't have paint sensors in the retina, so it's very important to take care of that because you don't notice the impact on your eyes until a few hours later. So it's very easy to protect your eyes. Whenever you're looking at the sun, you have to wear these eclipse glasses. Sunglasses do not work. Homemade glasses do not work. If you're using any homemade filter, it's not safe to use it. During totality, let's say a couple of seconds before, we have this spectacular phenomenon known as the diamond ring. The last ray of the sun is shrinking and disappearing. And that's the moment you can remove the eclipse glasses and look at totality, look at the planets, Venus and Jupiter on both sides of the sun, look at the corona, the outer atmosphere of the sun, look at the little prominences, the red dots, look at the colors all around the horizon. It's like a 360-degree sunset. And also look at some less known phenomena. For example, a minute before totality and a minute after, there is this mysterious atmospheric phenomenon known as the shadow bands. That doesn't come in every eclipse, but it's fascinating to see these rapidly moving shadows and lights or to record them. From the photography point of view, as you ask, you definitely need to protect your camera, the sensor and the lens during the partial eclipse, especially when you're using a long telephoto lens with a big objective. It's not needed to use a solar filter necessarily, but very strong ND filter. Many people may use just a cell phone. You can use your cell phone as well. You have several options for magnification. I recommend to use the 1x magnification. The main lens and the main sensor has the best quality in low light imaging. Nowadays, these cell phone cameras are able to capture stars and the Milky Way, and definitely the solar eclipse during totality is doable too. You can, since you're using a cell phone with wide angle, you can think about some foregrounds, people in silhouette, trees, a natural attraction, or a monument would make the image very unique.
Great advice, and just listening to you talk about this, it's got us all very excited over here. Babak Tafreshi, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it, and we'll be checking back in with you.
Thank you.
And if you plan to watch the eclipse from the comfort of your couch, you can tune into Eclipse Across America with special coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, with the main event starting at 2 p.m. anchored by David Muir and Lindsay Davis right here on ABC News Live. You know Lisa Vanderpump from Bravo's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Vanderpump Rules. Well, now she has a new Hulu show, Vanderpump Villa, following her staff at a French chateau. ABC's Lama Hassan has more.
What on earth is going on?
What a tattletale. I know he told.
Do you know how hard I work to make this all perfect for my guests?
Queen of all things hospitality and reality TV.
Throw me to the wolves and I shall return leading the pack. I'm not negotiating with you. Why is he changing things? Why would you try and fix something that's not broken?
Lisa Vanderpump, launching her newest experience.
Welcome to Vanderpump Villa.
In 3 words, how would you describe your new show?
Decadent.
Yes.
Naughty.
Naughty, we'll take that.
And poignant.
Shot at a 19th century chateau in the picturesque south of France. The unscripted docudrama follows the staff who live and work alongside guests for a luxurious stay of her standards.
My intention is that it goes perfectly. It doesn't always. That is such disrespect to me. This is a business. I don't know what you think we're doing here, but I'm telling you now, this is not Chateau. This is Chateau Roosevelt that I have created.
What does it take to impress you?
Professionalism, understanding what it takes to really give the good service. Then we have to throw in the ingredient of getting somebody that's going to be okay in front of cameras, because a lot of people wouldn't be. They're all new to it, and we had thousands of people apply. So it was a huge undertaking.
You look for the magic.
Yep. I do. There's a certain je ne sais quoi, as they say in France, of how they can connect and whether I can connect with them. That was a huge factor. So I would actually interview them all on my own in the kind of finals of it the last few days and really see if I could connect and understand who they were.
Your fans are dying to know, are we going to see a different side to Lisa on the show, Vanderpump Villa?
Well, I think it's more immersive, this situation where the staff don't go home.
The 12 chateau staff, handpicked by Lisa, include an executive chef, housekeepers, servers, and mixologists.
And what was it like when you got the call, when you found out that you'd been accepted into the chateau?
I mean, I was overwhelmed with emotion, I'll tell you that right now. I was super excited. There was nothing in my mind that didn't think Lisa wasn't going to pick me to be here.
When I applied for this position, I wanted her to know that, like, not only do I, like, uphold the way I look and I treat my bar like my stage, but my drink knowledge is very, very big. And when Lisa called me and told me I got it,
wow.
I was like, ah. So it just kind of, like, validates like our skills and our talents, that like finally someone can see what we can do.
It was that little, like, we all have insecurities, that little fear of, man, like, you know, is this really something I can do? And you know, getting that phone call from Lisa, like, happy tears, like, this is gonna be the craziest thing ever, and it really has been.
It must be so exciting being here and being part of this.
Yes, it is.
No, it's like, because, like, you can really never imagine. You know, this is my first time here in Europe, so this is an eye-opener for me. especially walking up here to the chateau. Never seen a building this big.
Are you learning from the woman herself?
Yes.
The queen of hospitality?
Yes.
She's so sweet, though, and it's just, she's powerful and in a good way.
You just know it.
You just
know she's the lady boss, right?
Yeah.
She gives off the motherly figure and also like such a great mentor, and I love learning from her every day.
Okay, Andre, Mr. Mixologist, what are you going to make us?
So
the
today,
signature drink?
Yes, our signature drink here at the chateau is going to be our Roosevelt cocktail.
To the drink.
Ooh la la. Ooh, it looks amazing. I can only smell it. I can't drink on the job.
Smells so good.
Ooh la la.
From the uniforms to the lavender-painted bikes, chandeliers and flower arrangements, Lisa's stamp is on every detail. And when it comes time to eat, the guests are offered the finest in French cuisine.
So being here, like with all the local farmer, local produce, it's very like a dream come true for a chef, you know, like you can do whatever you want, you can work with the best produce, and you really want to make your guests happy.
They were very visual, which I think, you know, people really appreciate when you put it in front of them. Beautifully decorated table, and then chef comes out. It's a it's all goes so well.
A feast for the senses in every respect.
Exactly.
Mon Dieu.
Mon Dieu, that's what we want to hear.
Yeah, amazing.
Yet this haven of peace, tranquility, and the unparalleled luxury didn't last very long.
Marcia, I'll ask you first. What's going on in the chateau?
There's going to be a lot of emotions, and you're going to see it throughout the chateau. You're going to see romance, you're going to see love, you're going to see anger, you're going to see sympathy.
Not only living together, but working together, you know, there's no escaping.
I'm the one that people spill the truth to. I have the serum.
There's drama a lot back of house, and sometimes things spill over to the front of house. That's my nightmare.
Apologize. Say sorry. Apologize.
Do you know how bad it looks fighting in front of the guests?
I did not work this hard to have these little whippersnappers screw it up.
Part of your team is Hannah. She's on your team as well.
Who's your ex? Marciano. Yeah.
Wait, the guy in there?
Yeah. He cheated on me, so I moved out.
That's my ex-girlfriend over there.
What is something a potential employee can never do?
Be rude to the guests.
When you look at a resume, what's a non-starter?
When people have moved around too much. I like tenacity.
Is the boss always right?
I would like to think the boss is always right, but I think I learn from every experience too, and people sometimes surprise me.
Now it was time to check in to Vanderpump Villa.
Enjoying the beautiful view at the chateau?
Thank you. Is this my tea?
This is.
Great, thank you very much. Ooh, I can get used to this. Who doesn't love a bit of luxury?
Lama, thank you, and that's our show for this hour. I'm Victor Okendo, in for Lindsay Davis. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of today's top stories. Thank you so much for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, the safety checks after a rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake hits the Northeast. Plus, it's the most beautiful time of the year in Japan. We're taking a look at Tokyo's famous cherry blossoms.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it. How important is this label right here, Made in the USA?
Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love it.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Victor Okendo, in for Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We begin tonight with that rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake that rocked the Northeast this morning, rattling millions from Maryland to Maine. Tonight, several aftershocks have been reported, with the latest in New Jersey, registering at a 4.0. The epicenter in White House Station, New Jersey, 40 miles west of New York City, the strongest to hit the area in 100 years. Let's get right to ABC's Trevor Alt, leading us off from New Jersey.
Tonight, millions in the Northeast on alert for aftershocks after a 4.8 magnitude earthquake rattled much of the eastern seaboard. The quake striking at 10:23 this morning, centered about 45 miles west of New York City in White House Station, New Jersey, where New York station WABC broadcasting live, taking calls from alarmed viewers near the epicenter.
We were sitting on a couch and we originally thought that something exploded outside. And it started shaking very, very, very violently. I mean, this explosion was near deafening. It was nuts. And then we went outside on the deck after it kind of settled down. You could feel the deck railing shaking like a jackhammer.
It's the strongest quake to hit the Garden State since the 1700s, lasting more than 30 seconds.
I thought it was like a truck driving past because sometimes my house will shake from that. And then I realized that can't happen from a truck. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, is this an earthquake? She started screaming. She's like, get outside, get outside.
Security cameras catching it shaking home, sending pets panicking. People running to safety out of this cafe. The shaking coming mid-haircut at this barber shop.
What the heck is that? Was that an earthquake?
The tremors felt from Maryland to Maine and major metros like Philadelphia and New York City, jolting the earth cam atop the Statue of Liberty.
We were actually stopped on the George Washington Bridge, and we felt something rumble. We didn't know if it was cars going by us or what it was.
But it felt like a joke. And you saw cars go like this, kind of shake back and forth.
They even felt it during batting practice for opening day at Yankee Stadium.
I felt something. I thought, right? And then, I'm glad to hear it because I know that I'm not going crazy now.
Multiple airports issuing ground stops. Newark Airport alerting pilots.
All right, 72 aircraft awaiting departure. It seems like the tower is going to be evacuated.
The NYPD using drones to inspect bridges.
We've not identified any life-threatening situations, but we are certainly asking our local law enforcement and emergency services teams to be on guard for that as well.
Today's quake striking along what's known as the Ramapo Fault, which spans about 185 miles across New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Significant quakes on the East Coast are rare, but do happen. In 2011, a 5.8 quake centered in Virginia was felt by millions in more than a dozen states, even cracking part of the Washington Monument. Quake expert Dr. Lucy Jones said had this quake been centered under a major city, the damage could have been much more severe.
I think to be getting substantial damage, you need to be getting larger, 5.5 to 6, and you need to be putting it in an urban area.
Our thanks to Trevor Alt. From the earthquake, we turn now to the deadly nor'easter. More than 300,000 customers still without power. And after a record April snowfall in parts of northern New England, several more inches are now on the way. And take a look at this. The dramatic moment a police officer driving in Sanford, Maine, narrowly avoided a falling tree brought down by all that heavy, wet snow. Tonight, there is a new storm crossing the country. The question is, will it affect your view of the eclipse? ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Victor. Yeah, a lot of people asking that question, so let's go over it. We're getting all sorts of weather here in the wake of that epic nor'easter you just spoke of. But the storm coming into the west right now is pretty potent in its own right, and it's a good chunk of it's already gone through California, where there are still advisories up. But look at the wind advisories and the red flag warnings posted for the Rockies and the Plains. That gives you an idea of the kind of wind energy we're dealing with as this thing comes into the west and eventually into the plains. So timing it out, the rain tapering off to showers across California tonight, heavy snows in the mountains, and then that energy gets into the plains come Monday morning. Monday afternoon, we're looking for a severe weather threat. Tuesday and Wednesday as well. But let's talk about Monday. That severe weather threat, Waco, Austin to Dallas. After the eclipse, but leading up to the eclipse, the clouds will probably be building. So here's our forecast for the eclipse. It looks like Waco, Tyler, Dallas probably be in the clouds there, getting up through Little Rock, still cloudy. That white's shown on the map. Breaks in the clouds as you go through Indiana and Illinois and maybe Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, where I'll be. Clouds and sun, a game day decision there. And even Burlington, no guarantee of completely clear skies there. Those clouds may encroach quickly. So we'll see what the weather gods bring us on Monday. Victor, it only takes one cloud to ruin it and one break in the clouds to call it a success. We'll see what happens. Victor?
We're hoping for the best, and we're looking forward to your coverage on the eclipse. Rob, thank you. Now to the developing news out of Baltimore tonight, after a Coast Guard dive team just reported they've recovered the body of another construction worker killed in the Key Bridge disaster. 38-year-old Maynard Suazo Sandoval. Of the 6 killed, he's the 3rd to be found. President Biden was in Baltimore today, taking in a bird's eye view of what remains of the bridge. The president also privately consoling the families of those 6 workers killed. Also tonight, the concern over Iran and a possible retaliatory attack. U.S. officials warn Israel that Iran may be planning an attack after Israel's deadly strike in Syria. ABC's Britt Clennett is in Israel with what we're learning.
Tonight, U.S. authorities are warning that Iran may be preparing for a retaliatory attack against Israel. A U.S. official telling ABC News retaliation could come as soon as this weekend or next week for that deadly IDF airstrike in Syria that killed 7 Revolutionary Guard members, including a top commander. It comes as the Israeli military fired 2 officers and suspended 2 commanders for the IDF attack that killed 7 aid workers in Gaza, including a dual U.S. citizen.
It was a terrible chain of errors, and it should never have happened.
Israel's own investigation outlining a tragic timeline. That World Central Kitchen convoy clearly marked with the logo, picking up aid shipment Monday night. Despite the charity coordinating their movements with the IDF, Israel saying drone operators were unaware of that plan and mistook an aid worker carrying a bag for a gunman, later opening fire. 2 passengers escaping the first vehicle, getting into a second, only to be hit by another missile. Survivors of that second strike were then killed in a 3rd attack, all in just 4 minutes. The World Central Kitchen renewing calls for an independent investigation, saying the IDF cannot credibly investigate its own failure. Tonight, after President Biden bluntly warned Netanyahu to take concrete steps to protect aid workers and civilians, or the U.S. will reassess its support, Israel announcing it will open the Erez crossing in northern Gaza, as well as a port to allow more aid in. But those steps by Israel don't address the White House calls to protect aid workers. Despite that today, President Biden saying Israel is following through.
I asked them to do what they're doing.
All right, Britt, thank you. And there's still much more to get to. Coming up, using AI to supplement HR departments, the new algorithm that is changing the way companies work. But next, the search is on for a family of 5 who vanished in a national park during a massive earthquake.
Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Everything is so fine. Little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more, and I'm into it. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone, like everything is so fine. Little bit of sunshine.
Good morning, America.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carry,
How important it made the USA.
Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
I'm Aaron Katursky in Rochester, New York. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
We're tracking several headlines around the world. In Taiwan, rescue teams are searching for a family of 5 in the country's famously rugged Taroko National Park. The family had gone for a hike when the earthquake hit. It's feared they were caught in the rock slides that followed. The country's strongest earthquake in 25 years sent boulders and mud tumbling down mountainsides, blocking roads and smashing cars and injuring more than 1,000 people. Ukrainian officials say they successfully used a barrage of drones to destroy at least 6 Russian military aircraft and seriously damage others at an airfield in Russia's Rostov region. Russia's defense officials are countering the claim, saying they intercepted the drones and that only a power substation was damaged in the attack. If the Ukrainian report is true, it would be among the country's most successful cross-border strikes. And Tokyo's famous cherry blossoms are in full bloom this week. Visitors and locals alike are braving the city's chilly spring weather to appreciate nature's spring spectacle. The cherry trees bloomed a little later than usual this year due to colder weather. It should come as no surprise that companies large and small are using artificial intelligence platforms and software to help them make decisions that were once the domain of HR departments. Joining us in a moment is Emmy-winning investigative reporter and professor of journalism at NYU, Hilke Schellman. Her new book, The Algorithm: How AI Decides Who Gets Hired, Monitored, Promoted, and Fired, investigates these seemingly automated tools that could potentially be weeding out current and potential employees based on some questionable criteria. So welcome, Hilke. Your book, The Algorithm, delves into the ways that AI is impacting the life cycle of employees. This will no doubt raise a lot of eyebrows here. So if you could, explain the tools employers are using and why do they warrant investigation?
Yeah, so I think we see that most Fortune 500 companies use AI somewhere in the pipeline of hiring. So we see it a lot with resume screeners. So if you upload your application to any of the big job platforms or you apply to employers' websites directly, often there's a resume parser that will sort of sort the resumes into the yes and into the no pile. And then we see a lot of and that was obviously coming through the pandemic. We see a lot of one-way video interviews where folks get pre-recorded questions and there's no one on the other side. And then we see also video games that job seekers are asked to play to sort of understand what are their capabilities, what are their personalities. Are they agile? Are they quick to learn? All of those things that companies want to know. And this is all coming from a place that we see now. Companies get inundated with millions and millions of applications, so they feel like we need a technological solution. I've heard from lots of employment lawyers who said, oh yeah, we found gender discrimination in their tool and we told the company not to use it, but the startup is still around. So yeah, there is a lot of tools that unfortunately do more harm than good.
And we also wanted to ask you about some eye-opening tests that you conducted on a specific tool claiming to assess personality and job suitability based on voice samples. So walk us through that experiment and the surprising results.
Yeah. So what I often think about is in this case, there was a one-way video interview where, you get a bunch of questions and you're asked to answer them and record yourself. So I always think about, what is with folks who maybe have an accent, who have a speech disability, and, when their audio does get transcribed into text, will the AI tool be fairly examining them? So I thought, let's give it a little test. So I spoke to one of the tools in German. And I read a entry on Wikipedia about psychometric, and I was surprised. I sent the email out, and I got an email back saying oh, you are 73%, qualified for this job. And I was like, I didn't even say a word in English. And when I looked at the transcription, it was just gibberish. I think that really worries me about these are high stakes decisions. It matters who gets a job and why we get a job.
Right. Very clearly not a perfect science just yet. Now, you spent 5 years on this book. You talked to job applicants, employers, and whistleblowers. Yeah. So what steps will need to be taken to ensure the responsible and ethical use of AI in the field of human resources?
Yeah. So I feel, there should be a lot of skeptical questions first for the developers. We need to have explainability. Why was somebody rejected? Why was somebody put in the next round? And often even the developers of the tools do not know that because these are unsupervised AI models. So I find that very problematic. We have to have explainability, transparency. So if somebody's in front of a judge, they have to explain why somebody made it into the next round.
Hilke Schellman, this is a fascinating topic that we will be grappling with likely for years to come. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hilke Schellman's book is out now, The Algorithm: How AI Decides Who Gets Hired, Monitored, Promoted, and Fired, and Why We Need to Fight Back Now. And still to come, she's selling out shows around the world with her unique vocals and vulnerable lyrics. Up next, she's making her SNL debut in our Prime playlist. We're taking you inside Ray's shining moment.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here. Monday afternoon, all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Moore and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run, there's nothing to watch me looking down, one by one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families.
One by one.
Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in the crowd.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center? We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a carry in it.
How important it made the USA. Great work.
Hi, appreciate you. Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Right now is Ray's moment. The British-born singer is selling out shows across the world, earning more than 32 million monthly Spotify listeners. She's credited as a writer on one of Beyonce's songs on the hit album Cowboy Carter. And tomorrow, she makes her Saturday Night Live debut. And it's not just Ray's vocals that draw in fans by droves. It's the honesty in her songwriting and vulnerability in her performances. Our Phil Lipoff sat down with the 26-year-old to talk about her journey to stardom and how she found creative freedom years away from the spotlight.
Ray has been running towards stardom her whole life.
Sleazing and teasing, I'm sitting on him.
Her 2022 release, Escapism, streamed more than 500 million times.
Back to the intro, back to the bar, to the Bentley, to the hotel, to my old way. 'Cause
That success, and perhaps more important to the 25-year-old, her artistic freedom, did not come overnight.
When I signed my record deal when I was 17, in my mind, I was going to be like, here's my album. And they were like, yeah, okay, great. And they were like, okay, so you could go and do some sessions with these people. Go and work right with them.
She says her label ignored what she wanted to create, instead put her together with some of the biggest DJs and producers to make dance hits like You Don't Know Me.
asking, don't act like you know me, like you know me.
The Jax Jones 2016 release featuring Ray climbed to #3 on the UK charts. After that, Secrets.
What a way to drop a bombshell, baby. Guess you really didn't think I'd find out.
And then, Bed.
I got a bed, but I'd rather be yours.
Another top 10 hit with her friend and DJ legend, David Guetta. Her voice becoming synonymous with the genre, but only that genre.
I was there for 7 years, and in my mind, I had written many, many different albums worth of stuff that would have made sense in it. You know, like, it's like hundreds of songs.
She even wrote hits for other artists, like Bigger for Beyonce. Finally, after 7 years in 2021, Ray says she had had enough and took to social media claiming that her label was preventing her from releasing her own album instead of just single after single. Shortly after that, she was let out of her contract, suddenly untethered, independent, and ready to be Ray.
Ultimately, it forces you as an artist to focus on the only thing you can control, and that is the quality of your art. And the idea is that if it gets into one person's eardrums, you're like, you know, they're listening and they're like, wow.
You said, I don't want to create music for the purpose solely to sell. That doesn't give me joy. When I heard you say that, I wrote it down immediately.
I had to get to a place where I was like, I don't care how this music performs. I don't care what it does. What I care about is the fact that I love it.
That love for music began when Ray, or Rachel Agatha Keane, was a child in Yorkshire, England.
I sang at church, and my parents are definitely musical, but were never professionally musical. At 7 years old, I turned around to my dad and I was like, Dad, I'm going to be a songwriter. My granddad used to write songs. It's just in the blood, the passion's in the blood.
It's an interesting thing for a 7-year-old to say.
I wrote and recorded my first song when I was about 8. I still have the recordings, but you are not allowed to hear them because I sound terrible.
What was the name of the song?
The song was called Change My World, and I wrote this song about a homeless man that I'd seen, and I was really upset.
One line.
Cold and tired and hungry, life is just so hard for me. Yeah, all I want is a peaceful world, something like that.
The writing was on the wall. In her teens, her passion for music grew, inspired by legends like Nina Simone. Ray seen here singing Feeling Good. All these years later, opening for stars like SZA and Caliuchis, seen at fashion shows with Ice Spice and Lil Nas X. Now headlining her own tour, and Ray fans around the world finally have her first full-length solo album, My 21st Century Blues, and it begins like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm heartbreak welcome to the wonderful Ray.
A 13-song journey, pop mixed with jazz, R&B, and a little dance, with lyrics to match the highs and lows of the life she's lived. There's Oscar-winning Tears. She performed in August on Good Morning America's concert series.
Cry those
And deeply personal songs like Ice Cream Man.
Coming like the ice cream man till I felt his ice cold hands.
Written about being sexually assaulted.
Whenever you go to that place, I think a lot of people who experience some of these things experience PTSD and experience the aftermath of trauma that was dealt to you that you didn't deserve. Like, you know, having to figure out how to pick your life up after you've been completely broken and abused. And that's a song that I made to just remind myself how strong I am.
She makes that very clear in the chorus.
'Cause I'm a woman, I'm a very brave, strong woman, and I'll be damned if I let a man ruin how I talk, how I do it.
Do you sing it every night you play?
No, not every night.
That would be difficult.
Yeah, I really try to as much as I can, because I know every time I sing it, I know there's at least one little girl in the audience who is like, thank you for singing this song.
One of the many new benefits of having creative control. Here's another one.
Thank you.
Escapism, her first single as an independent artist, shot to #1 in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Equally as thrilled to show us her platinum album hanging on the wall. And now, a live album recording at the famed Royal Albert Hall in London. The announcement came this spring on Instagram. What's it going to be like?
It's going to be amazing. It's definitely not cheap, like, just so people know, okay?
Remind me
Reinvest
that you
into
are
your
independent.
artistry. Independent artist.
Independent artistry.
No, it's going to be a dream come true. That's exactly what it's going to be. I think Escapism is going to be insane with dun, 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 you know, them chords.
The song is upbeat, but for us, Ray played it like this.
Sleazing and teasing, I'm sitting on him. All of my diamonds are dripping on him. I met him at the bar, it was 12 or something. I ordered 2 more wines, 'cause tonight I want him. 'Cause I don't wanna feel how I did last night. I don't wanna feel how I did last night. Doctor, doctor, anything please. Have mercy on me, take this pain away. You're asking me my symptoms, doctor, I don't feel.
In the middle of her longest tour yet, 133 shows.
When I come out the other side of that, we'll see. Yeah. But I do have some things in the vibe, so there's no rules. I don't know, and I'm also a very spontaneous person. I could wake up tomorrow and be like, guys, I feel like we're gonna drop an EP full of this, and that. Like, you just don't know with me.
So there's nothing to regret, other than this 4/4 kick drum pounding in my head.
And our thanks to Phil. That's our show for tonight. I'm Victor Oquendo. ABC News Live is here with you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. And you can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of family.